Hey God, I need a minute.
Are you Terry? Who am I talking to? Wait, who am I talking to?
I am Yolanda. I'm now in
Yolanda?
UK and
Jordi from Barcelona, both in Stairway to Rock.
yes, Stairway to Rock.
Great. All right. Well, let's go all the way up there then.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go straight. So I think first of all, I think we need to start the interview with some great news that we knew today that you have reached the number one in the US as well in
We are
Australia and Austria. But first of all, congratulations!
we
Amazing.
are we're just crazy excited. It was hopeful but unexpected. So it says a lot about not only our audience but the metal audience out there that this record could be so important to so many people that they rush right out and grab it. I mean, it kind of throws back to when I started in the music business in the 80s. When you had to get your records on the shelves and you had to do these big pushes to make sure that everybody knew it was out there. So you can do all that you want, and we certainly did our best, and our team did their best. But unless the people are interested in it, nothing happens. So this is really exciting for the whole band. We're elated.
When you started to record the album, composing, writing, you had in mind that it was the final one?
No, not at all. Dave didn't make this decision until we were well into it. We were really trying to make a really great Megadeth record, and something that would stand up to a lot of the older records. And that was the only focus that we all had. When we got off the road last year, we all discussed, what should we do now? We have Teemu, our new guitar player. Why don't we find out what that is? But before we even started, we went on a listening expedition. We started listening to a lot of the old records together. We'd do like Zoom calls like this. And we'd all kind of like put it over the speakers, and we'd sit there and we'd analyze the records. And it was kind of fun because a lot of the stuff, Dave hadn't heard for years. So to watch his kind of take on it and what he thinks of it now as compared to what it first seemed like or playing it all these years and stuff was really exciting and kind of fun to kind of see his perspective as opposed to a fan's perspective, or a musician's perspective that hadn't thought about it in that way. So we were able to kind of reach a consensus of how we'd all approach the record. And what was the stronger things about those records that made impact on the fans with Megadeth, and what would be fun to do, And so we kind of put that into a big bowl, and spoke amongst ourselves, and then try to put together our musical ideas and put them all together, and then just try and divine what would work in that context. So to really succinctly answer your question, no, we were going full bore. Like, this was a new record. It's kind of a new kind of a band. I mean, Dirk's been there for a while. I've been there for a while. But with Teemu, it changed the complexion of things because he's not like Kiko was or 50 other guitar players. Not really 50, but, it feels that way sometimes. We really wanted to kind of explore that. Teemu is such a musical sponge that, if you kind of set him on a path, he finds it right away. He has a great vocabulary, but he also has a real good insight into what he's listening to and how to project that. So we just worked on this record as if it was going to be, this is the new one. Let's set it up. Let's see how good we can make it. Hopefully we can tour on the back of this and people will be interested in hearing the new music. And that was it. It wasn't until we got maybe two-thirds of the way through that Dave kind of announced to us that he said, guys, I don't really know how much more I can do as far as, health and physicality and all that. And I mean, I'm not a spring chicken either, but it wasn't about age. Dave's he's like a bionic musician. He has, he's been through so much physically. And let me tell you, just going out there and doing this year after year, that takes its toll on you physically too. So putting all that into a factor, I mean, Dave was like at that point of like, let's just finish this record up. Let's make it as good as we can make it. And let's, he felt so confident in the material we were doing, like he felt comfortable to put the Megadeth logo on it as the name of the band, as the name of that record. and have us just kind of put a punctuation on this and finish up our touring. If I may say one more thing, um, Ozzy doing his final show, things, all those kind of things that we were looking at out there, I think it may have led Dave into that way of thinking, like try and go out, while you're still strong. Don't wait until people start going, will you get these guys off the stage already?
Okay, we are gonna talk in deep about the album, but I think the mandatory question is: you did an amazing album, powerful, 10 new songs, but the last one is Ride the Lightning. So, do you think that choice has overshadowed the rest of the album?
No, it's funny. No, I don't think it's overshadowed the rest of the album. You know, it may have helped to create a little bit more interest because of the history of Dave's history, you know. Um, it really seemed like a logical conclusion. It's a weird thing because, when Dave brought it up, we kind of looked at each other and like, kind of said, huh, in a way. But, I've always felt that Dave's strength was his journey, and the way he's shared that, with scars and everything, just telling everybody what his life has been in music, and that is as vital a part of his career and Megadeth's inception as probably more than the music. So for him to come around and grab one of those songs that he did with Metallica seemed like the right thing to do. And we love the song. I mean, everybody, we're fans of the Metallica song, of course, so why not? And it's really funny because it wasn't even like a question of like, oh, we're going to do better than Metallica, because, nobody's going to do it better than Metallica. That sits in its way. But we wanted to do a Megadeth version of it that was good, just a really good Megadeth version that felt a little more like Dave would do it, So there you have it. I don't think it overshadowed what we're doing at all. I think it enhanced it in a way.
The album remembered me. I love the album, I have to say. But it remembered me the 90s albums like Euthanasia and Countdown to Extinction. Do you agree?
Do I agree that it's what? Can you be? I'm
That
sorry, I couldn't hear you well.
sounds like the 90s. As
Yeah,
to
okay. Again, we tried to take the strongest points of Megadeth by listening to what they had created over the years before Dirk and myself and Temu in the band, and try to keep that in mind. We can't be the musicians that were there. We can't live in that time frame, but we can certainly interpret the sound of that music and try and generate, the arrangements and the notes and the tones. We tried to make the tonality very close to that, which is a real trick because, there were limitations to recording back then that we don't have now. So you think it would be easier, but at the same time, you can interpret something. But then, a lot of that stuff was just they'd stick the right mic up in the right room with the right tape machine. That's not here anymore. So now you have to kind of go a longer way around to get that kind of sound. So I don't disagree. We were actively trying to find our way to make it sound as Megadeth and as familiar as possible.
Where you were recording this album, did you realize that you were creating this powerful album?
No, at least I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't. You never know. I've been in so many bands, but I also have friends in bands, right? And they always do the same thing. They go, "Oh, listen, we just finished this. What do you think?" And it always boggles my mind because I'm always like, "Oh my God, that's great!" Because I'm just coming in with two fresh ears, and a heart of music, so I want to hear what it is, So I kind of like going in. I'm almost a fan to start with. So in the case of this record, we were just sitting in the middle of it. I remember Dave getting really excited as we got towards the end of it. Like he was really starting to feel it. And all of his lyrics hadn't been baked yet. So, I mean, we were just kind of listening to some of the lyrics and going, all right, well, it's getting close. And then all of a sudden the next week he'd come in and it'd be like something astounding, like Hey God or something like that with all this depth and storytelling and this, this personal feel to it. And as that came along, that's when I started realizing that this could really be great, because I mean, it's all good, it's music. We're all good musicians, even you out there who might be playing guitar in your room. I mean, there's a lot of great musicians, we do Megadeth, so we kind of know what we're trying to accomplish, But even with that, there's not an insecurity as much as a yearning to try and make it as good as you can. So if you set the standard that high, then it's kind of hard to see where the top is, until the final thing is when the record comes off, we were really happy with it. So we're like, we can put this out.
Yeah.
Let's get this one out here. This could be the final one. The reaction of the fans is what really, sold us all on the concept of like, oh God, we did do the job we were going to try and do.
And do you have the band has in mind which songs are going to be in the set list? Because probably we are talking about the final set list in Megadeth.
Yeah, you know what? I'm also I'm the guy who'll go to a show, right? And I'm guilty, man. The band will go, here's the new one from our record. And if I haven't heard the record, I'm like, I got to go get a snack or something like that. Because I just, I always want to hear, like, especially older bands like ours, I always want to hear all the hits, I think we're going to be in a good position to be able to put a lot of these songs together, a lot of these new songs together. So far, I mean, the record has just basically come out, right? I mean, you can actually get your hands on it. We've already played 3 of the songs. I mean, we played Tipping Point, we played I Don't Care, we played Let There Be Shred. Because we recorded them, not too long ago, they're kind of under everybody's fingertips right now, so we can throw them in and out as we wish. We're really good about seeing what the audience is reacting to. I know this. So as we go from show to show, if we know there's a region of people who are open to the new record music, we'll put as much as we can in. But, again, my favorite thing is to go see my favorite classic band and really just hear their hit songs. So we have a whole list of songs that we know that we have to play. There's Sweating Bullets, there's Holy Wars, these are the songs that you want to come and see. There's Peace Sells. So we make sure that, that's there, and then we try and see how much time have we got, where are we at with our record? Is this, have people even heard this song yet? Or is the song just so badass that we'll just play it and see what happens? We've done that before.
So, in terms of this album is reaching the fantastic numbers, but can be also a problem because you were expecting to do a farewell tour, but this album seems that it's gonna be really, really powerful. So what can happen that you have a lot of offers to continue?
Okay,
Do you
there's no
consider
problem.
that?
There are no problems. There's only projects. We only have projects ahead of us. Okay.
Yeah.
The promoters have been great so far working with us because when they've seen like the ticket sales get to a certain margin, they've figured out ways to make sure they could reserve more space. So I mean, we're kind of ready for those contingencies, which is a great problem to have. So we're like this is the final charge. So we're the mindset in Megadeth is like whatever it takes. Just make it as good and as big and as powerful as we possibly can. Go out on that big note. So whatever it takes. I don't see if the record's that successful in the fan base it has been growing. Even since I came back here. If it keeps growing like that, of course we're going to make every effort to accommodate it.
I have seen that in Spain, you've got, I think, 5 concerts. Tickets are selling incredibly fast, and the bigger the venues are the biggest ones than other tours. So
Yeah.
I suppose that this is not only in Spain. It happens all over the world. Am I wrong?
Yes. Yeah, no, this has been happening recently. I mean, we again, our promoters have really been on the ball with this stuff because they're seeing a trend, and so they've been reserving extra days and finding the right venues where we can do that, where we can either expand the seating or put another day in. And I can't imagine that this year is the only time we can go out because we're kind of looking a couple of years down the line. It's going to take that much to actually do, the whole planet, and we can jump out and work regionally if necessary. If the people want to come, we want to play for them. I mean, this is the time,
No, I want to point that at least you are not playing only in Madrid, in Barcelona, which are the most populated cities. Are you visiting also the north in Coruña, Valencia, Bilbao? So for the people in Spain, it's really good that. So
Yeah,
thank you also.
I see that on our list. Absolutely.
Okay, You are again the bass player in Megadeth, but Dave Ellefson was a really important member of the band. Uh, I just want to ask you, have you ever met him?
Yes, actually, I had a great time many years ago. We sat down. We were at a there used to be Bass Magazine. I don't know if they still publish, uh, but they had something on in Hollywood out here, and I'd always wanted to meet him. At the time, I was in the band. We had just done United Abominations, so. And I'm such a big fan, and I've learned to play all his bass lines, so that made me a bigger fan, right? So I sat down and had coffee with him a while back, and I remember he was very gracious, and I told him at the time, I said, the Megadeth fans, they always love you. You're part of the original band. And I even told him, I said, you should go on the forums and just say hello. Stick your head in there and stuff like that. So fortunately, when the time came and they were going to do the Big Four again, when Dave and Dave had reconciled, that was I thought that was great that he went back just in time for that. Okay. I'm sorry he's not here right now, but like they say, the show must go on. And as things worked out, I was only supposed to be here to fill in for a while. And as we went out on that first tour that I rejoined, the vibe was so great that I couldn't resist coming back, and Dave was gracious enough to have me back. So
That was my next question. You came back to the band in 2021, and you become a permanent member in 2022. What keeps you saying yes to Megadeth when Dave calls you back?
oh, it's easy. And you know what? Dave and I, no matter what happened, we've always been friends. I mean, even at the end of my last tenure, a lot of the stuff was based on business and friendship. And that's they don't always miss, but they don't always mix. But in my career,
Sometimes it's not a good combination.
no, it's not a good combination usually. But in my career, I've always tried to maintain friendships over business, because business is, it comes and goes. It's just, whatever the value is of X, Y, and Z, that's what you have to choose. That's the way people, that's why they call it the music business. That's how people survive in this business. And I've survived very well. I play with so many of my friends and heroes over the years. So to me, it was such a what do you call that? Like planting the flag on top of a mountain, to have played with Megadeth at all and done those records with them back in the day. So the chance to come back, it seemed right. And the way I was looking at it, because I was playing with John Fogerty for a bunch of years, a lot of years, and it was right after COVID, and so everybody's touring had slowed down. So when Dave called me, I had this big space ahead of me, and I had time to do it. So I said, I can certainly do. And I called up John, and he said, fine, we're not doing anything for a while. So I had the time to do it. But the vibe was so electric with Kiko at the time and with Dirk that it was really irresistible to rejoin the band. And so, I mean, Dave took me back with open arms. Our friendship has always been intact. So, what's the argument? Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your career, because I think the first time we.
That's oh my God. You know what? I love that record, but I hate that cover.
Well, I got
That's
another one.
Those are Niels Lozauer photos in the back, by the way.
But it was amazing. You were part of White Lion in the good days with Vito
Yeah.
Bratta, Mike Trump. So how do you remember those
Do you
days?
know that? Do you know that's something that? See, that's something that Dave and I share that a lot of people in this band really haven't had, and that's we've both been successful in our times, even though in different projects. We've both taken that ride with other people. So we kind of like this. This is weird. Like we were talking about the record Megadeth becoming #1 this week. Okay. White Lion, I think the best that we've done was maybe we've had a single that got to #2. Maybe the album was in the top 20. Maybe we had something that went to #8. This, to me, after all this time, because the record business has changed so much, for this band to get to that point, it really amazes me. And I have White Lion as a yardstick as far as that. Was one band better than the other? You have to decide which one you like, or if you like them both, right? but there's no way to measure, how this success really happens, except that there's enough people who are interested enough and really like what you're doing enough to just go out and get the record and bring it home and embrace it.
Two questions. What do you prefer, playing live shows or record albums?
I love playing the live shows. I mean, I love albums when everybody gets in a room and you have those moments of electricity. And even here, some of the cooler stuff that ended up on the record was, stuff that we thrashed out and made little riffs out of, and that was all of us in the room. But again, we're separated, and it's protocol. Just like I'm not sitting in a room with you guys right now. Making music is very similar.
Yeah.
We record files and we send them around, and people put them on their timelines and see what they can do with it and stuff. It's a way of working, and it's become more of the way of working. But it's probably not the most visceral way. I love that thing of just getting on stage. It really is, to me, it seems like being an athlete, being a soccer player or a football player or a baseball player. The moment is everything. And all those fans are counting on you to make all those plays. What are the plays? Like playing all the notes right together, making it sound like that experience that they imagine when they hear your record at home. So to me, there's nothing more exciting. It's physical for sure. It's emotional. I always said it's like a church. Like people come to, not pray to what they love, but they come to experience what they love together in a community. So to me, there's nothing more exciting about that, or more motivating. I mean, that's the only reason you can still get me on planes and walking through airports and stuff like that, because I hate that.
Yeah, makes sense. And the second one is, so for the moment, you expect to apply your time only in Megadeth, or are you gonna consider other projects?
Are you saying afterward?
No, right now. No, after.
Oh, right
no,
now? No, if there's
combining.
No, if there's time, it's not even projects. I mean, sometimes I enjoy, somebody will send me something to record for them. They'll hire me to record on their music, and they're not famous, but they could be really good. Like if I listen to their music, they're really good. So I'd love try to contribute there and give them like that little extra that I might have because I've done this so many times, right? Because it helps lift them and it helps move them on their way. Things like that I love to do, and it's very simple. I'm in my music room right here, so I can just sit and give them my performance, and they can take it and they can use that for their music. That's exciting to me because sometimes it comes back and it's just amazing, So it gives me a lot of hope for the future, because you hear all these people still making music that good old fashioned way. As far as other things, I mean, I just did a Grammy party with a bunch of my old friend musicians and stuff like that. It takes nothing. You learn a bunch of cover songs, you get up there and you thrill the crowd. And, I'm sitting here waiting to go on tour. So if it's music, it's music. I love making music. But I don't have an extra band or anything like that. I mean, it's Megadeth all the way.
I want to show you this album. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I did that cover, dude.
Yeah, really. Okay. It's Gilby Clark. It's a really good album, but you've got a strong connection with Guns N' Roses. You play with the Slash, too.
I played with Slash back in 95, I think it was, 94, 95. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see how I ended up doing that. I was sitting at home. Brian Tichy called me. I was in the band with Brian and Zach Wilde, Pride and Glory, right?
Oh, amazing band. Yeah.
I really loved that record, and playing with those guys was just absolutely unreal. That's one of those things you get in the room and everybody just kind of plays together and you get the electricity. That's just one of those jam band things. But anyway, I wasn't doing anything, and Brian calls me up, and I think Matt Sorum and Mike Inez, they were originally going to go on tour with Slash because they'd just done that Snake Pit record, and they both went off and did something else. So I think it was Mike Inez had joined Ozzy at the time, and they needed a bass player like last minute. And so I was a little reluctant because my daughter was born months earlier, and so I was really reluctant to take off. But it was one of those opportunities where my wife agreed. She's decided to hold the fort, and she said, you should really do this because this would be a really good, not only experience, but a musical thing. And it would be good for your career. People can see that you can do that kind of music too. So, yeah, we took off for a couple of years. And I got to tell you, man, I have probably never felt as much like being in the Rolling Stones as traveling in that thing. First place we stopped was South America. Almost got dragged out of a van by too many fans who were too excited for no apparent reason. But yeah, apparent reason, Guns N' Roses and all that. So Gilby was on that as well. And that's how I got to meet and become friends and play with Gilby as well as Slash.
Yolanda, let's go for the classical ones. But
Okay.
uh, mm, Yolanda and I work in popular one magazine in Spain, the most important magazine. We want to ask you it's a special question. Which are the three horror films that you watch as a child and you couldn't sleep after seeing?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you very well. Say that one more time, please. I'm sorry.
If you remember the three
Horror movies.
horror movies that when you
Okay.
were a child you were
Oh my God.
absolutely scared.
Only
Or,
three?
or an adult.
Yeah, of course, three, just three.
Okay. So, number one, and this is weird because it's not really a scary movie, but when you're 7 or 6 years old, it could be, right? It was probably The Bride of Frankenstein. And here's why. Not because it was a scary movie even then, but I'd seen it once before with my parents and everything, and I thought it was great, right? So one evening, we had a basement in my house in Brooklyn, and my dad had just set it up so we had a TV down there, and I was sitting there and it came on, and I was excited. And I was like, yeah, man, Bride of Frankenstein, here we go. And I was all by myself, so I was sitting down there, and I was just really getting creeped out. So I go bolting up the stairs, and my grandmother's up there, and I'm white as a ghost. And she goes, what happened? I said, if it's I was watching the Frankenstein. She goes, come on, I'll watch it with you. It can't hurt you. So she sat there and watched the thing with me. Okay, so that's number one. I love, and now I watch it because it's so preposterous, but as a kid, I thought it was kind of creepy. There's a movie with Vincent Price called The Tingler, and it's the most preposterous story. It was one of those William Castle movies. Anybody who's into this genre of movies knows this, that he used to have those gimmicks. So this is the movie where he would wire up the seats in the theater. If you paid for it, they told you, like, there's a special thing that happens. So they'd wire the seats with electricity. And every time the Tingler would show up, they would hit now you'd be sued to death. I mean, the lawyers these days, you'd never get away with something like that. But anyway, the movie itself is kind of weirdly creepy. And number three, I gotta say, like something like Heredity, like the most recent, like that movie was really weirdly disturbing. Yeah, I don't even know if creepy is a good enough word for it because there's some really scary stuff in that. So that's three. I can go all day, but we'll stop
No,
there.
these both two movies are okay for us. Yolanda.
Okay, all right. I've gone too far as usual.
Yeah, so
Can we start wrapping up because the time is almost over?
yeah,
One or two last questions. Thank you.
fast. Yes. Do you remember the first album that you bought with your own money?
It was Sergeant Pepper.
Beatles.
Okay, I'm not that. Yeah, I'm that old. Yeah, man, I played that one into the grooves, man. That was something that at the time you've never heard anything like it. You just had to be there.
Good choice. Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever cried in a concert? Do you remember the song and the band that was playing?
Oh my God. Okay, so I actually cried on stage about 9 years ago. Okay, I might get choked up right now, so stand by. So when I was a little kid, 11 years old, okay, what was on the radio? It was like Woodstock, 69 and all that stuff. And I was 10, 11 years old. I was playing guitar, right? Acoustic guitar. So I played anything that was on the radio and sang it. And it was, of all things, Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Good connection.
I want to know, have you ever seen the rain, right? Have you ever seen the rain? And so there I am playing on stage 9 years ago. It's more than 9 years ago because I've been in this band.
I cry also
Yeah.
if this happens to me.
Yeah. So I'm standing there playing the thing, and all of a sudden my life flashes before my eyes right in the middle of this simple 2-chord song. And I'm going, oh my God, I'm actually playing the song that inspired me as like a little kid before I even knew what I was doing. And here I am, like as a professional guy doing it.
Yolanda, el saludo.
Yeah, so if you can say just a short, hi all, I'm James LoMenzo. Please check my interview for Stairway to Rock.
All right. Hey there, this is James LoMenzo from Megadeth, and come listen to my interview for Stairway to Rock. I don't have my t-shirt yet, but I know there's one in the mail.
Super. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Excellent.
Hey, you guys are great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for this interview.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Martin.